Selected 1. Like spiritual wildfire, the rumors are spreading over all networks. Here are some findings from psychology research about mass silence, which occurs when a group of people abruptly stop talking about their target. It is an indication of total psychological failure. One startling question is causing a lot of buzz in private conversations. How did you put an end to a whole gang that appeared to be so strong, so well-organized, and so intent on destroying you? Those who previously confidently planned your demise are now whispering your name in reverent, quiet tones. What was carefully crafted to shatter you has instead made you into something completely unbreakable. And it's hardly peace when your erstwhile critics remain eerily silent. It's the sound of adversaries who have used up all of their weapons and seen them all break against your indestructible divine core. All of your limiting beliefs about your own supernatural ability will be destroyed by the truth that is about to hit you. Allow me to explain the alliance that attempted to overthrow you, because you will be better able to appreciate the extent of your success if you comprehend their total failure. This was no haphazard group of hate-mongers casually disparaging you. This was a well-planned coalition with a common goal to defeat you, coordinated tactics, and shared intelligence networks. They have regular meetings with the main agenda item being your annihilation. There were backup plans for backup plans. Prepared contingencies for all potential situations in which you may be involved. It was thought that many might defeat a lone target by overwhelming your individual power like a pack. The sheer volume of attacks might destroy genuine power like yours if everyone worked together. This calculation was incorrect on levels that are still unknown, and the rumors that are circulating via old networks now feverishly try to figure out how such a disastrous error in judgment about you happened. The foundation of unity was a mutual dislike of you. The collective weakness opposing you is the source of strength. Identity created against your will. Everything that was impossible to attain or become was acknowledged when you were watched, and that awareness of you made others angry and compelled them to express it. Participants gathered around what were thought to be your remains like scavengers, sharing the fruits of your anticipated loss. You will be fascinated by the discussions that are now taking on behind closed doors. Analysis is being done to see where your plan failed, but the same impossibility keeps coming up. You should have been impacted by everything that was done. The strategy against you is perfect on paper. It was disastrous in practice against you. There are overtones of confusion that verge on the paranormal in the rumors that are spread about you through shared ties. The regulations that apply to regular individuals do not apply to you. Your power had always come from an internal source that was impossible for other forces to access, pollute, or even correctly identify, whereas power was constructed externally through social validation and community consensus. You did not fall when you were taken away from supposed external supports. You found wings that you had never bothered to use before. When attacks began to have the opposite effect of what was meant for you, the alliance began to show the first signs of weakness. Every plan that was devised to isolate you ultimately served to separate the scammers from real individuals who were able to see through the fake drama that was all around you. Every falsehood propagated to harm your reputation brought dishonesty to light in ways that uncritical spectators found unsettling about the assaults on you. Every trap intended to bring you down turned into the hole into which you were frequently dropped spectacularly while you were left unharmed. Former circles are now chatting about how the alliance disbanded so fast once assaults against you were no longer successful. Individual anxieties and conflicting objectives were the only things keeping anybody together in the absence of you as a shared adversary to fight. The same energy that had kept participants engaged turned into the power that tore them all apart from the inside out, producing drama fit for gossip that eclipsed everything that had ever been spoken about you. It wasn't only a tactical blunder. In relation to you, it was existential. Because it needed your annihilation to verify worth, it was discovered that the entire approach to power was essentially wrong. While you remained steady, entire identity structures fell apart like houses of cards and storm winds when you demonstrated that you were unbreakable. You experienced an incredible awakening that left everyone talking during the height of the concerted attack against you. Even your most ardent fans were taken aback by the prophetic weight of your statements. Each and every character warning you issued, every prophecy you made concerning your impending demise. People stopped and stared at your appreciation as each of your intuitive flashes concerning hidden intentions began to appear with precision. The rumor networks that had previously written off your observations as wishful thinking or paranoia were now confronted with the unsettling fact that you had been correct about everything. The same individuals who had laughed at your warnings were now living in the same situations you had so accurately outlined that it didn't seem conceivable to anticipate. Despite desperate efforts to dismiss your voice and portray your insights as coincidental or self-fulfilling prophecies, reality continued to validate your statements with mathematical accuracy, drawing attention from even doubters. Your voice changed from being contentious to prophetic, from being disregarded to being urgently sought after by those who realized they had been relying on the wrong sources all along rather than you. There's a lot of anxious conjecture about what more you could have foreseen that hasn't happened yet in the talks that are currently taking place in circles that you were previously excluded from. People are sifting over your past. Try to remember every remark you made in passing about what would happen in the future, looking for hints about what may be coming next that you might have predicted. You are a treasure trove of gossip because of your ability to challenge preconceived notions about reality, and that power is in your name. Now, this was not about defending your ego by being correct. This had to do with being linked to streams of information that were outside the realm of ordinary human consciousness. You have always had a more sensitive spiritual antenna than those around you. Your intuition is more accurate, and you are more adept at seeing patterns. You identified what others wrote off as intuition as the direct download of information from sources that functioned outside of linear time. Your predictions were based on your observations of energy paths that had already been set in motion by decisions that had already been made, not on wishes or dreams. One may observe the development of repercussions prior to the completion of acts and follow the results of decisions before the decision makers had completed their thought processes. The fact that you were able to bring light to areas that sorely needed to remain dark frightened others who like to work in secret. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but also the souls of many others through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's great design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Take action now. Share your blessings to exalt His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. The power dynamic changed irrevocably in ways that led to countless rumors about you when your prophecies started coming true precisely as you had uttered them, with timing that seemed to be controlled by invisible hands. People began to receive your statements as intelligence reports from the future that you somehow acquired, rather than as opinions. Former adversaries understood that resistance wasn't limited to those with sound judgment. You, someone who had direct access to divine wisdom and could see through any pretense put up, were the target of resistance. For onlookers, the most disturbing thing was how your prophetic accuracy went beyond individual circumstances to more general trends impacting entire communities. With your extraordinary perception, you started to accurately forecast changes in social dynamics, group hierarchy, and the revelation of hidden agendas, leading some to question whether you were actually directing events rather than just seeing them. More interesting than any rumor ever disseminated about anybody else was the chatter about your extraordinary insight. In past circles, the most talked about scandal was what was believed to be the darkest secret. It's all your fault. The people who attacked you weren't just using traditional social warfare tactics. When dealing with someone like you, there were forays into areas that demonstrated amateur spiritual comprehension. There were rituals in basements and get-togethers in the backyard that were all about you. During late-night phone conversations, Curses were spoken about you. Personal belongings were sacrificed in an attempt to supernaturally weaken you, since it was thought that your particular light might be overpowered by a combination of evil purpose. Originally kept inside the group's inner circles, the rumors concerning occult activities soon spread among ex-members who were repulsed by the lengths the group would go to in order to harm you. People began discussing candle rituals in which your picture was burnt, regarding group meditations that emphasize envisioning failure, pertaining to blood sacrifices performed at particular lunar phases in order to intensify malevolent intent against you. Every spell uttered against you in the shadows. Every covert sacrifice is directed at you. In addition to failing, every effort to control your fate through metaphysical manipulation resurfaced with greater vigor, leaving participants spiritually destroyed in ways that were hard to conceal. Targeting you had included dabbling in abilities that were incomprehensible. There were uncontrollable energies used against you. When your destruction was the objective, deals were struck with powers that were impossible to identify or appease. You already know the game is rigged, don't you? You can tell the walls are closing in if you're listening. Let's discuss our current course of action. You must be heard, held, and given a fair hand when you spend your life at the whim of the market, when property and profit rule the land. The things that a people want are these. We also hear you. There are pay barriers in the Obsidian Inner Order. Yes, the people who support us and keep our mission going provide us with the ammo we need to battle the Archons, resist the machine, go deeper, and find more. Additionally, as a token of appreciation, our premium members receive a weekly, 1-hour live, personalized group tarot reading, as well as direction, understanding, and clarity for the future. However, we cannot overlook kicking a man for lying on the ground. Because of this, you may start stealing the Astral Atom unique daily email for free right now. No catch, no paywall. Simply click the link in the description to sign up for the Patreon free tier. This marks the beginning of our bidirectional dialogue with you. Any email we send you can be replied to. We'll read it, we'll listen to you, and we'll try our best to ask the cosmos itself for a response. We need your help, if you can. Take what's free if you can. The Inner Order of Obsidian is open. Let's resume our work now. Because your defense functioned on a level never experienced in amateur experiments with darkness, you are totally immune to supernatural attack. Crude attempts at spiritual warfare against you were unable to penetrate the walls that the heavenly forces that were in alignment with your mission had placed around your energy field. You weren't simply staying safe. The same powers that had tried to sway you for presumption were currently administering active punishment. Your protection hadn't appeared all at once. It had been ingrained in your spiritual DNA by forefathers who had faced comparable struggles for many generations. Back over the ages, your lineage had triumphed over evil powers. You were now protected by all the protective rituals your bloodline had achieved. Unbeknownst to you, the entire spiritual infrastructure that underpins your goal beyond realms has been challenged. The failure of supernatural attacks against you signaled the knowledge that you, as someone functioning under divine immunity that could not be broken or comprehended, were the focus of opposition, not an average human. Observers were more terrified by this realization of you than by any actual threat. The fear of coming into contact with energies that were immensely stronger than whatever darkness you were a part of. More intriguing than any social drama ever made was the rumors of spiritual losses against you, with individuals narrating tales of the paranormal repercussions experienced by everyone who took part in rituals against you. Following spiritual attacks on you, there was a fast, severe cosmic correction that became the most talked about reversal of fortune anybody in social circles had ever seen. No damage control plan could stop the disclosure of what had been done to you, as all that had been worked to keep secret exploded into public view, with such explosive power private plots against you turned into amusement for the public. You were the focus of covert plans that were revealed by intense examination that was impossible to avoid or avoid. Suddenly, there was a lot more fascinating material available for the gossip networks that had previously boosted assaults against you. Those who had targeted you met a dramatic end. Calls were humming with information about which group member had pursued you and experienced the most recent disaster. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the world's fleeting concerns. As the Holy Bible says, everything done in faith will be rewarded by God's abundant blessings. Luke 6 verse 38. Like that mighty oak tree, our roots are deeply anchored in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stance we hold is secured by His power. And now, you have the opportunity to be a part of this blessing. When you click this Super Thanks button and make a $100 donation, this act will return to you 100-fold. Subtle allusions to karma catching up with those who believe you might be touched are common in social media feeds. Your old assailants were spectacularly humiliated in front of the same masses who had previously shared your mockery. The awful aspect of public disclosure was how thorough it was about all the people who had targeted you. There was more than one scandal or humiliating event in this case. It was the total dismantling of all the pillars around which those who had opposed you had constructed their public personalities. People who had unknowingly supported the assailants immediately realized what had actually been going on behind your back, and their emotions varied from disdain to concern for the safety of those involved in the failed plot against you. Truth itself rewrote the narrative that had been in control for so long, giving rise to countless possibilities for talk about what had transpired and what had been done to you. Former allies, therefore, started openly separating themselves from those who had singled you out, which led to further drama as relationships fell apart and fresh betrayal surfaced. Neutral onlookers, seeing the aftermath of crossing you, found amusement in the savage intensity with which people turned on one another, destroying the oneness that had once been their strength. Everyone who had opposed you saw their carefully crafted pictures fall apart in real time across several platforms at once, leaving them all rushing to repair reputations that had been founded on dishonesty from start. Failures were held in the public mind for far longer than those who had ventured across you could mentally bear, as each attempt to restore images only served to highlight the initial outrage of what had been tried against you. You didn't have to participate in or even comment on the public humiliation you witnessed. Since truth has its own velocity, chronology, and inexorable force that creates its own exposure, your vindication didn't take any work. All you had to do when someone like you was vindicated was to keep being who you truly were, although you were exhausted from attempting to uphold facades that were never viable and were now totally destroyed by those who had fought you. Even those who did not believe in karma had to admit that something more than human design was directing events in your favor, since the poetic justice was so flawless. When it came to what happens to individuals who cross you, the lessons contained in the downfall were too important for the universe to keep silent and too dramatic for the gossip networks to ignore, so it became a legend. Not because you encouraged it. Something remarkable started to appear in your life that was difficult for everyone to ignore as the alliance fell apart in the open and attacks resumed. Your tranquility, reputation, opportunities, connections, and everything else that had been attempted to be taken from you were all returned to you, multiplied beyond what you had before, and rumors of your quick ascent took precedence over the dramatic downfall of those who had opposed you. People began looking for you because of the same traits your adversaries had claimed you lacked. You were drawn to achievement, fame, and genuine connections because of the same qualities that had been ridiculed. People exchanged stories of your prosperity with amazement and incredulity, as resources seemed to be drawn to you by powers that went beyond simple cause and consequence. The spiritual principles that had been broken in assaults against you naturally cause your life to rearrange around prosperity and recognition. The rumors about your metamorphosis centered on how easy you appear to be, how opportunities seemed to flow with your true self-expression, and how strangers started referring to you with adoration and respect. Your character was permanently enhanced by the power you gained from protecting yourself from a concerted attack, which was evident to everyone. You were almost hard to trick or control because of the clarity you acquired by seeing through lies, which permanently strengthened your judgment. You were able to flourish without the approval of others thanks to the independence you developed while standing by yourself. This gave you a magnetic confidence that brought you the things you needed. In your circles, your tenacity turned into an insurmountable quality that became famous. People sought your advice on difficulties because of the prophetic insight that crystallized from your intuition. Your genuineness developed into a magnetic force that drew in everything that was in line with your highest good and repelled anything that wasn't. Every aspect of you that had been attempted to be eliminated came out of the conflict stronger, purer, and more powerful than before, sparking constant discussions about your apparently insurmountable metamorphosis. You hadn't just escaped an attack. It had shaped you into something that would never be questioned. And you were different, and everyone could see it. This multiplication was the activation of plenty that had always been your inheritance, not a compensation for your sorrow. Simply put, attacks had compelled you to adopt an identity you had been avoiding out of false humility, to tap power you had not realized you held, and to uncover strengths you had not known you possessed. The rumors around your rise centered on the fact that you appeared to have discovered a key to success, leaving others to wonder if they might experience the same metamorphosis by imitating you. Those who previously so brazenly assaulted you experienced something really intriguing. It became a case study of how someone might be totally defeated without you ever confronting them directly, since the connection with your basic existence underwent such a profound psychological alteration that attacks continued. It became impossible to think about you without feeling so uncomfortable that everyone might see and comment on it. Every time your name was mentioned, the rumors about your behavior shifted more and more toward overt signs of trauma. There were obvious anxiety reactions to your name. Your picture led others to quickly change topics or leave rooms. People went into protective spirals when you mentioned your accomplishment, revealing to everybody listening that you were completely defeated. Now is the perfect time to click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and share God's blessings. You can contribute to his plan and become a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you multiplied beyond your expectations. Remember, his protection and blessings are with you in every step you take and every donation you make. You become part of his divine plan. You are a powerful, radiant being, unshakable like his mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with his confidence and courage. Be blessed, and may the Lord's light guide your way. This led to secondary rumors that you couldn't manage your win well. For those who had opposed you, you had become a live example of complete failure. And the psychological anguish of that reminder was so great that it became essential to pretend you didn't exist in order to keep your sanity and social functioning intact. Conversations in your prior social circles now revolve on your evident avoidance techniques, and the amusement value of witnessing once confident people now becomes so obviously distressed when your name is mentioned. This degree of loss went beyond a typical triumph and turned into rumors that extended much beyond the initial dispute between you and the other person. This was the total destruction of all chance to influence your world in any way. It was discovered that not only could you not be harmed, but that efforts to harm you often caused attackers to sustain visual harm, which kept impartial spectators entertained. You already know the game is rigged, don't you? You can tell the walls are closing in if you're listening. Let's discuss our current course of action. To be heard, to be held, to be dealt a fair hand. When you live your life at the mercy of the market, where property and profit rule the land. The things that a people want are these. We also hear you. Paywalls are a feature of the Obsidian Inner Order. Yes, the people who support us and keep our mission going provide us with the ammo we need to battle the Archons, resist the machine, go deeper, and find more. As a token of appreciation, each week, premium members receive a 1-hour live, personalized group tarot reading, as well as direction, understanding, and clarity for the future. However, we cannot overlook kicking a man for lying on the ground. Because of this, you may start stealing the Astral Atom unique daily email for free right now. No catch, no paywall. Simply click the link in the description to sign up for the Patreon free tier. This marks the beginning of our bidirectional dialogue with you. Any email we send you can be replied to. We'll read it. We will listen to you and try our best to get the universe to respond. We need your help if you can. Take what's free if you can. The inner order of Obsidian is open. Let's resume our work now, in ways that produced intriguing social dynamics around you. You had turned poisonous to toxicity itself and radioactive to negativity. Former allies started avoiding you not just because they didn't want to be associated with the people who had targeted you, but also because it was psychologically difficult for everyone to be around someone who had clearly lost. In certain groups, the quiet that surrounding your name wasn't a sign of disrespect or disinterest. Avoidance brought on by trauma became more fascinating than any drama that was ever produced around you. Repetitive inability to divert attention elsewhere has conditioned minds. When you came to mind, you developed patterns of conduct that were both humorous and educational to outside onlookers about your untouchable status. You had turned into the painfully impossible notion, the name that was unspoken without repercussions, the triumph that could not be recognized without making the people who had opposed you feel inadequate. Once carrying assaults, the gossip networks now carried intriguing conjecture about what happens to those who lose so badly against you that it is hard to talk about. Loss more comprehensive than any physical victory could have been was your psychological win. Far more amusing for others who were observing the fallout around you. It wasn't simply a lost war. They had lost the ability to resist you, to plot against you, and even to remain calm in discussions that touched on subjects pertaining to your achievement. When targeted at you, weapons had crumbled to dust. Strategies had turned against you into self-destruction. While you were unaffected, unity had turned into mutual annihilation. Even the rumors of your continuous decline served as constant confirmation of your inviolable position. A greater comprehension of why everything in your life had transpired precisely as it did during this time of enforced stillness around you emerged. The attacks had been well-planned challenges intended to awaken latent parts of your spiritual DNA, not arbitrary persecution. Every challenge you faced had been precisely calibrated to push you just far enough to develop without totally shattering you. For your development, knowledge far beyond human planning has carefully planned the timing, strategies, and intensity. You had unknowingly taken part in your spiritual education, which had given you the precise curriculum you required to develop into the person you were meant to be. Your spiritual muscles were grown to extraordinary levels by the resistance offered. The organized resistance forced you to uncover personal capabilities you were unaware of. Your entire connection with the event you had gone through was changed by this realization. What had appeared to be persecution turned out to be preparation for you. What had appeared to be arbitrary brutality toward you turned out to be a cosmic curriculum created just for you. In reality, what seemed to be an enemy selection was a heavenly appointment. To play the part of resistance in your hero's adventure, selection had taken place. When they attempted to eliminate you, the gang had become unwitting agents of the very power opposition was believed to be mounted against, acting as catalysts for your metamorphosis and instruments of your elevation. When someone like you is involved, spiritual laws that function as reliably as gravity or thermodynamics have been broken, making the failure as certain as morning. You learn to discover whatever you need within your own connection to the holy source. From the loneliness you felt when standing by yourself, you were compelled by the resistance to become independent of outside approval, something that most individuals never do. Everything that mattered about your character was enhanced by the strikes that were intended to make you weaker. It wasn't only a personal triumph that got you through this struggle. For other chosen ones like you, it served as a reminder that group resistance cannot overthrow true authority. By standing your ground, you set an example that would help people in all facets of reality who were experiencing comparable difficulties. The knowledge you acquired during this procedure is now a permanent asset. Your newfound strength serves as an unwavering basis for all of your endeavors. Your way forward is now illuminated by the clarity you have gained about your actual identity and purpose. You turned what was supposed to be your downfall into your greatest strength. Your victory caused a change in the fabric of reality. By standing your ground in the face of a concerted assault, you set a precedent that would benefit the selected for centuries to come. By refusing to compromise authenticity, you created pathways and awareness that those following your path would always be able to access. Those on similar missions to yours found the spiritual rules that shielded you more evident and trustworthy. The divine justice that worked so well in your case set up patterns that would be repeated for everybody with comparable difficulties. The whole blueprint for how the cosmos reacts to attacks on those carrying out divine tasks, like you, has been improved by your victory. After hearing about your event, other selected ones started to share similar accounts of unexpected protection and enemy defeat. Because of the energetic breakthrough you made, others were able to more easily acquire the same degree of invincibility you had shown. The terms of interaction between light and darkness have been practically altered by your victory to favor those who serve the highest good, like you. The powers who attempted to eliminate you found that an evolutionary leap in the way chosen ones like you perceive and access power had been unintentionally triggered. The planned attack backfired so badly that it strengthened not just you, but also all those involved in similar operations throughout the world who could relate to your narrative. Your reputation as untouchable turned into a beacon that drew in others eager to enjoy the same degree of security you had attained. Former adversary silence made room for fresh discussions on what happens when someone like you steadfastly rejects being devalued by criticism. Other chosen ones who are under similar attack can now access the protection measures that were triggered in your defense. In the future, when circumstances like yours arise, the network of divine intervention will function more effectively thanks to the expansion and strengthening of the spiritual infrastructure that came together to help you. You weren't the only one who benefited from your success. It improved civilization's perception of what safety for those with higher goals, like you, looks like. Those who qualify via genuine service to divine will, as you have shown, can now more readily access the cosmic rules that worked in your favor. You went from being a local legend to a worldwide inspiration as your tale started to circulate beyond the immediate circle of people who were present when you achieved your goal. Others began using your adversary's experiences as warnings about the repercussions of harming others who were similar to you. More significantly, though, discussion started to center on your remarkable display of unwavering strength under duress. The cosmic justice that unfolded in your case served as a model for others to follow in their own lives, inspiring movements of individuals who suddenly realized they, too, had the capacity for invincibility. Your untouchability allowed other selected people all throughout the world to assume their own unbreakable identities without regret or justification. Everyone who had ever been singled out by a group's opposition like you was inspired by your example, which became the stuff of contemporary legend due to your unwillingness to be broken under concerted attack. The gold standard for how chosen ones handle efforts at destruction was the way you remained true to yourself as everything around you burned. Personal development classes, motivational talks, and social media postings started mentioning your strategy without mentioning you by name. Your tale is especially potent because it shows that some triumphs may be achieved without retaliation, debate, or even self-defense. Lessons learned by observing you. For people like you, authenticity is the best armor and divine purpose is the best defense. Your dedication to being precisely who you were created to be, in spite of outside pressure, became live evidence of this. When it came to the people who had targeted you, the last stage of devastation was the most lyrical. The same energy that had been used to destroy you started to destroy all of the foundations that had been established, including relationships, reputations, resources, and psychological stability. There was helpless observation as strategies were applied in reverse with disastrous results. The isolation that assailants attempted to impose on you became a reality, yet you were left entirely undisturbed. Attacking lives was the manifestation of the reputational harm that had been sought to be done upon you. The spiritual attacks that had been directed at you bounced back and broke the launcher's shields of protection. The collapse was not slow. It was thorough and indisputable. While you prospered, defeat turned into a mirror showing the negative effects of constructing your identity on those who opposed you rather than a true purpose. Your energy has caused parasitic living, and when you were untouchable, there was nothing left except emptiness to sustain those who had made their identity out of their hate of you. Being untouchable meant more than simply personal safety. It was an illustration of spiritual concepts that the majority of people only comprehend in theory. The fact that every attempt against you failed demonstrated that when you are involved, authenticity that is in line with divine purpose provides invincibility that no worldly resistance can overcome. You now find yourself in a situation that, although it would have appeared unthinkable at the start of this entire story, was essentially unavoidable as soon as you made the decision to reveal your true abilities. You become precisely what your adversaries feared you would become as a result of the attacks that were intended to kill you. Unquestionably impenetrable, indisputable, and unstoppable for all time. The attempts to keep you from realizing your full potential have ensured the precise result that everyone has been working so hard to avoid. The quiet that envelopes past animosity is not void space. Rather, it is an environment full of boundless potential for your ongoing growth. The energy that was formerly aimed at your demise has been transformed into energy for your continuous rise, giving you momentum that propels you in the direction of possibilities you never would have thought possible for yourself. Your triumph is the full validation of every decision you make to be true to yourself in the face of pressure to change, give in, or back off. Every instance in which you opted for truth over popularity, honesty over acceptability, and genuine expression over social approval has been confirmed by results that beyond your most optimistic estimates of your own abilities. This is your selected one moment of total recognition. The sound of your complete triumph rebounding across every area that formerly reverberated with pointless attacks against you is the quiet of past adversaries. When it comes to you, no power in this dimension or any other can match the unquestionable strength demonstrated by the tranquility that envelopes your name. The reverence you now receive everywhere you go is recognition of a power that is beyond the realm of human comprehension. Protection that works without your conscious effort or intent, that connects with energies so powerful that it is practically difficult for anybody aiming at you to resist them. Because of your tale, it will always be known that some conflicts are won by being true to who you were born to be rather than by fighting. Your victory serves as a lasting reminder that for individuals like you, sincerity is the best defense. For chosen ones like you, divine purpose is the highest kind of protection, and those who completely accept who they are become unstoppable transformational forces, just like you. The truth about you is now indisputable. Therefore, the rumors have ceased. You have achieved complete victory, and your ascent to prominence has irrevocably changed the perception of what is possible. You cannot be broken, stopped, or touched. The chosen one is completely awake, and the quiet is your triumphant symphony that reverberates throughout eternity, motivating selected ones to follow your example until the end of time.